And we're back for game number 2 of the day. Artyk taking on Evil Geniuses. Artyk just finished off a win against Denial Esports. Very impressive win, coming out on top. And really, you know, talking with Beat, who is my co-caster for game number 1, will not be with me here for game number 2 for obvious reasons. He's going to be holding down the support role for Evil Geniuses. They're going to ban Slark out with their first ban. That's very, very interesting. But, you know, this is my favorite part of this tournament. And again, the reason I was drawn to it, a number of reasons, but the big ones were, one, I wanted to get to know more teams in North and South America, South America in particular. I mean, I know a pretty good number of players and such in North America, but it's mostly, you know, for lack of a better way to put it, not to denigrate anyone, but, you know, the upper crust, you know, Evil Geniuses, Team Liquid, Dignitas, etc. You know, the teams that are always playing in the D2L and other tournaments I broadcast, so on and so forth. So I'm real interested to see, or I was real interested to get to know the up-and-coming talent here in North America. But more so even than that, I think, I want to get to know the South American viewership. I want to get to know the South American teams because I know how unbelievably passionate about gaming South Americans can be. I've seen it. I've met a few in live events. Every time they show up in the stream, they're always excited to be there, always love esports, love Dota. And it's just a demographic I hadn't had a chance to really get to know. And it's one of the reasons I love what the ADL is doing and why I think Sean and company are really doing something great, not just for North America, but for the entire hemisphere. And just so excited to get to be a part of this project and hopefully to grow it and have you guys grow along with us. Would love it if you would tell your friends what's going on and tell them to tune in, support some North American Dota and South American Dota, support some up-and-coming teams, and help make this tournament a success so we can have many, many more seasons in the future. So Artyk, a Peruvian team, just got past Denial Esports, led by Eosin, formerly known as Eosin Plus 4. And getting a very good win there, but they're going to be up against Evil Geniuses in quite a test here. They're going to end up giving away the Life Stealer after banning out the Wisp and the Bad Rider. No Slark or Magnus going to be making it into the pool, courtesy of Evil Geniuses. But this is the other factor I was kind of alluding to. One of the reasons I so very much enjoy the concept that the ADL is putting into practice is it isn't just teams that are on the up and come and need some exposure and need some chance to play. They're teams who are going to be battle tested over and over again, at least 3 times against the top 3 teams in the hemisphere in North America in particular, and Dignitas, Team Liquid, and EG. And this is where teams have their chance to break out. You know what I mean? This is how teams, even though they're now defunct, at the time, 3D Max was able to break out because of some performances in tournaments like this or in the group stage of Star Ladder, the group stage of the Defense. And it's just necessary that we have a chance to test the old blood against the new blood. And I think this is a great way to do it, and more to the point, a great way to do it on in a time slot that is geared to North American and South American viewers, which I absolutely love. I mean, it's whenever I do the D2L, especially now that I'm on the West Coast, you know, I'm getting up literally at 5:30 in the morning and starting broadcast at 9 a.m. and having 2 best of 3s at 9 a.m. and noon. So it's nice to be able to settle back. The sun setting and out east, I'm sure it's already dark, and it's nice to have this kind of Dota geared for our demographic, our viewership, and played by our talent. So enough rumination about that. How about we talk about what we're seeing out of both of these teams? Pretty standard stuff right now. Lone Druid first picked by Artyk. Lone Druid will or will not be given that much priority depending on team and depending on who you're up against. The fact that they're up against a Lifestealer, Lone Druid is a decent counter-ish to Lifestealer late game. Lifestealer in the early and mid game, though, really does well against the Druid, especially in the laning phase. And what the option Evil Geniuses has now, if they feel confident in predicting where that Lone Druid is going to be, is just go ahead and draft an aggressive tri-lane or draft just aggression, period, and do what you can to get that Lifestealer isolated against the Lone Druid. And the reason you do that is Lifestealer's Feast mechanic. Feast, his passive, gives him health regen, but the big thing about Feast and why it just is so damn good in a one-on-one versus Druid, Druid traditionally is a hero who can harass most heroes in a one-on-one situation out of lane, especially, well, in particular when they're not in mid because they don't have the high ground to fall back to. But, you know, in any other solo lane situation, he's going to be able to do some decent damage, build up the Orb of Venom, stick that on the bear, and it just becomes an unbelievable pain in the butt. However, Lifestealer's Feast mechanic is based on the base HP pool of the unit he's attacking. So in other words, he's not just getting regen based on damage. He's not just getting regen based on what he or how much damage he does. He's getting regen based on the total health pool. It's a percentage base of the hero or unit he's attacking. So anytime he gets low, anytime the druid harasses him, all he has to do is turn on the bear, take a swipe or two, and by the time that bear is level 3 or level 4, all of a sudden Lifestealer is getting like a third of his health from two swipes at it. So it's just impossible for the druid to run him out of lane. Druid with no lockdown mechanism whatsoever. And honestly, it's fairly squishy target in his own right, especially until he hits level 6. So Lifestealer can just play up front and in charge in a one-on-one, and that's something EG might draft around. But they did pick up the Keeper of the Light. Keeper does show up in offensive tri-lanes from time to time. Predominantly, though, functions very well out of the defensive tri-lane, can do really well in terms of getting levels. In a defensive tri-lane, he can just stack a camp over and over again. Once he gets to be level 3, level 4, 1 or 2 ranks into Illuminate, 1 or 2 ranks into Chakra Magic, and then Keeper can just melt down stacked creep camps in the jungle and catch up in levels admirably. Visage, though, a more traditionally aggressive pick coming out from EG. So if you're in Artyk shoes right now, it's a little hard to determine. Artyk just grabbing the Nyx Assassin. Nyx can go mid, can go in the off lane. Don't really know Artyk's tendencies with him. Nyx, for the most part, whenever you're talking about top-tier play with the top-tier teams, Nyx is almost always going to find himself in a 4 or 5 position just running out of the tri-lane. Really dependent on a number of factors. I mean, if EG picks a mid that can be very easily abused by Nyx's mana burn in particular, they may decide to put him there. But, you know, picking up the Gyro here, an absolutely great pickup. I talk about it all the time. Gyro and Lifestealer are very, very similar in the regard in how well they work with Lone Druid. Druid is just one of those heroes who benefits a lot from having some other hero, some other carry or semi-carry on the team to help carry the weight of damage early on. That way, if the Druid falls behind, or if they're up against a team who wants a team fight earlier than the Druid normally does, just having another hero there that can do damage, like a Lifestealer, like a Gyro, in that late early game, early mid-game phase, just allows him to play a much more comfortable game of Dota and makes his life a lot more easy because he's no longer the sole focus of the other team's aggression. They have someone else they have to worry about in terms of team fight potential. So getting the Gyrocopter there, certainly a lot of heroes that can synergize well with him. One still available is the Darkseer. The Magnus already banned out. That's another great one. Puck's still available if they really want to go overboard with the magic damage. You can even pick up a Queen of Pain, something like that. Evil Geniuses, just taking out the counters to the Lifestealer, and that's probably the big mistake maybe Artyk has made, not picking up either a Shadow Demon or a Bane, as Robert and I discussed in game number 1. Both of those heroes just great heroes against Lifestealer. Bane for obvious reasons. The fact that Fiend's Grip goes through magic immunity, and he can honestly shove Lifestealer around in lane pretty well, depending on the situation. If they wanted to offensively try lane, don't know that they will. They do have the option. Don't know that they will, though. I wouldn't recommend it. But being able to enfeeble Lifestealer, even early on, because enfeeble's not purged away by magic immunity either. You cannot enfeeble a magic immune target, but you can enfeeble a target, and then even if that target goes magic immune, it does not purge away enfeeble. So Bane is great against Lifestealer in that regard, and that's exactly why EG is going to take him away. That plus the Fiend's Grip and everything else. Nightmare, an excellent laning phase initiation technique as well. Shadow Demon, just about as good. And in fact, you know, again, we went on at length in the early phases of Game 1 during the draft. Shadow Demon, in my mind, is just the most effective hero that in the entire game, at all phases of the game. Demonic Purge in particular on Lifestealer is an absolute nightmare. He is slowed, he can't get on a target when that's his entire mechanic, and you can disrupt any target that the Lifestealer uses open wounds upon. So EG not letting him through and taking out the Queen of Pain, so on the same page I was. Artyk could very easily have gone just way overboard with magic damage. Look to free up the entire map with the utter kill potential and team fight synergy of Gyrocopter, Queen of Pain with the single target DPS of Nyx Assassin just to back that up. They're going to go ahead and grab a very aggressive hero in the Storm Spirit to go mid for themselves. Artyk will go ahead and grab the Jakiro as their secondary support, so it looks like we're just going to have another defensive tri-lane coming out of Artyk. The Druid likely to wind up in the off-lane / jungle position, so they're going to be looking for a mid now. With EG already picking up their mid, the Puck is available. Puck would make a lot of sense for Artyk just because of how well he's going to work with Gyro and Jakiro in particular, being able to silence targets out, drop the coil. That just makes it so easy to land effective cooldowns with very good macro pyres as well. And I'm smiling because the Treant Protector gonna be picked up by EG. So the way they're gonna lane this, I honestly, it's a little curious. It's a little curious. They could off lane the tree of course. That would make the most sense. Keeper of the Light off lane was something that teams did a long, long time ago. I don't know that we'll be seeing that here today, but Keeper of the Light is an interesting hero. He's been seeing a lot more play. He certainly has a little bit of team fight synergy. His ulti very, very good in terms of locking targets down, which is a godsend for heroes like Lifestealer. And that's one thing they have is a decent amount of lockdown. They're going to have Grave Chill from Visage. They're going to have Open Wounds from Lifestealer. Storm Spirit with his entire combination being able to jump and take a target out of a fight for more than 2.5 seconds. And the Treant Protector with his own lockdown. And Artyk's actually going to grab themselves another damage dealer, and I actually like that call out of them. I like that call out of them a hell of a lot because, again, Gyrocopter Lone Druid work well with the Lone Druid having some pressure taken off of him. And that Juggernaut going to wind up going mid, potentially. Could be a mid Gyrocopter as well up against that Storm Spirit. We'll have to wait and see what the decision's going to be. I don't know the players well enough to know their tendency. Smash is their mid player or was their mid player in game 1. So that might be a mid Gyro with a farming Juggernaut. Or maybe an off-lane Juggernaut with Lone Druid being farmed in the safe lane. So if nothing else, Artyk definitely has some flex in their lineup. A lot of ways they can decide to push this issue. And a lot of survivability and a lot of team fight potential. This is a lineup EG is going to have to flat out initiate. Because if they get the drop on them, they have so much that works so well together. Juggernaut's entire skill set just factors into it all so damn well that it's a lot of extra damage that EG has to now account for. But again, I want to see how they're going to lane it. Smash was the mid, and looks like he is heading in that direction now. We'll just let the lanes take shape as I run through the lineup, see who's handling who. We're going to have Fear playing on the Visage. We're going to have Jo farming up the Lifestealer. No surprise to see that at all. Storm Spirit will be taken mid by Demon. No surprise. Bambo will be taking the Treant Protector into the off lane with the Keeper of the Light handled by my co-commentator for last game. That's going to be Bdiz playing on the Keeper this time around. On the other side of the river, we got Mistco, M-S-T-C-O. I'm going to guess that's Mistco. Playing on the Nyx Assassin. Gyrocopter going to be played in mid by Smash. Jakiro will be played by Musuku. He's going to be making his way to the safe lane along with the Juggernaut, the Lone Druid. And Mihawk, once again, going to be looking to hopefully get a good start here out of bottom. They made 2-1-2 this, which would certainly be an interesting decision. And we'll have to wait and see where Misko's going to go. Just keeping an eye right now on the rune. The bear is right up on that as well. Juggernaut, though, going to be played by Ewo. And Ewo had a great breakout game in game 1. Ended up 9-1 or 10-1. I can't remember on the Phantom Assassin. Did a really good job. Played very patiently. And his item choices were really, really solid as well. So let's see. Mihawk is going to go ahead and duck back. Misko's still hanging around for the moment. And the rune spawns will be a haste. Let's see if he wants to pick it up, and he eyeballing it, sniffing it, seeing if it's good, asking folks, hey, anybody want this? Anybody want this? In the meantime, EG is going headhunting, and Masuko ducked into the trees, not going to be spotted. They are going to offensively tri-lane this. I thought it was just going to be a flat-out off-lane Bambo. But this is kind of what I was talking about. And this is just good prediction. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about, actually. Not even kind of what I was talking about. Exactly what I was talking about. Isolating that Lifestealer against the Lone Druid. He's just going to do so well in this situation. They're trying to bait this out, it seems. And Bdiz hanging back south. Ewo doing a little bit of right-click damage to Bambo. Has yet to place a point here in mid. Yep, they're going to try to just cause some problems for Demon. Mana Burn was the first choice. They may just duo lane this, actually. We'll see if the Nyx is going to sit here, if he's going to eventually bail out. Up at top, the rest of EG, we can see Fear blocking the pull cam, not going to allow them to pull, trying to bait out Artyk into an engagement. And Bdiz places his point into Illuminate, shows his face, so he's going to know what's up. And so far, the Nyx continues to hang here. So this is going to be a 2-2-1 with a Nyx Assassin. Nope, never mind. Now he's going to duck out. Thought he was going to continue to hang as the haste had expired, but looks like he's just going to roam, actually. Just be a pure roaming Nyx Assassin as he gets out of XP range and then finally turns back around to come back. Now, the problem that I'm seeing for Artyk right now is unless they're able to kill Demon, this is just going to be 3-1 lanes for EG. I mean, up here it's a 3 support tri-lane, so farm is secondary. But nonetheless, Bambo with that 88 base attack damage is able to get some last hits and denies, sitting at 6-3 already. They have 3 heroes, so this is going to be a situation where Artyk is not going to feel comfortable coming out from under their tower for the most part. They have a lot of damage in the Visage and the Keeper of the Light. Bambo with Leech Seed makes it hard to take an extended engagement against them. And now down here, Jo should get a win against Mihawk, however. The Nyx now making his way down. He's going to try to confound things a little bit. But, hold on. Masuko caught with the leech seed. Ice Path is there. Illuminate connects, though. And Fear does... Nope, never mind. Treant Protector swinging that long, slow swing. Puts the first blood on the board. As they're able to get a kill. And now Gyro actually taking a bit of damage. As the Demon continuing to keep control of things here in mid. Down at bottom, Jo pinned under his own tower. Mihawk and Misko playing way far forward, but really he's not seeming to struggle that much. He's got the most last hits on the board right now at 15. And yeah, I mean, he's just going to regen on the bear. Anytime he can take a swipe at that bear, it's just going to be free regen for him. So unless they're just willing to commit super heavy down here, the Nyx Assassin just at level 2 is not particularly lethal with the Lone Druid. I mean, Lone Druid is just not going to have what it takes to kill that Lifestealer off for quite some time. And I'm a little questioning what they're up to. I mean, it's... And you understand they want to just try and make Jo play back, but he doesn't have to. He's got Rage. So he gets Mana Burned. He gets level 1 Mana Burned, level 1 Impaled, then just turns around. Now he's just going to engage, and look at this. Look how much health he's regenerating. Just basically gave him a free salve. And it's not going to get a whole lot better down here, as Jo is already way over-leveled in comparison. He's level 5. The Druid is about to be level 5. The Druid is just level 3.5, and Misko, again, level 2.5, but he's soaking experience from his carry. So the Druid is not going to be getting up in level at all. And Misko just really not serving a lot of purpose. Really think he'd be better served making it up to the top lane and trying to make EG feel a little uncomfortable. I mean, right now, the Treant Protector's out farming the Juggernaut and the Lone Druid combined. You put those two heroes together, and Bambo's out farming them both. So the lane choices here, a little questionable. I liked their lineup a lot whenever they first drafted it. But this Nyx Assassin has more or less been dead weight. He found himself an Invis, and is going to look to rotate to mid and make something happen. Demon sitting at level 5 now. The Gyro's at level 5, so they are comparable. If this is the time you want to gank a Storm, if you can. If you can kill him before you hit 6, that's... let's see, is he going to go for it? And... Yep, now he's going to go ahead and spend it. Demon eating a lot of damage, drops the Remnant, nice mana burn. Now they're going to turn, and the tower gets 1 kill. TP reaction was there. Fear's going to try to pursue this out, not going to be able to get into range. So, a nice thought. The execution a little bit lacking. 2-0, the result, as EG takes an even more commanding lead. Top 3 farmers on the board belong to the Evil Geniuses, 30, 27, 23 for the Lifestealer, Treant Protector, and Storm Spirit, respectively. Now, despite Artyk, I mean, Artyk isn't being completely blown out here. Well, okay, 3,000 gold in 5 minutes. That was a little higher than I expected, actually. They're going to face some challenges for the extent of the rest of the early game, and Gyrocopter just died again. I didn't even see how. I'm going to guess he died down here. Where did you die, Gyro? Nope, he died in mid. So, Gyrocopter dies again. But, nonetheless, they're going to face some challenges. But they do have a team that can do damage. And sometimes that can get you through a lot. That can get you... I just realized how crazy stupid the regen potential is on EG's side. Like, you know, I talked about Chakra Magic, talked about Leech Seed, but it just didn't occur to me. It's like, oh, by the way, between those two skills, you never run out of any bar ever. And to say nothing, of course, of Living Armor. So, but anyway, 3-0, 6 minutes in, and Artyk with a way to go. They're going to have to start putting their lineup through its paces sometime soon. Juggernaut, just level 4. Taking a look at the levels. EG, eek. Out-leveling the Jug and the Nyx Assassin. Out-leveling the Jug, that's a tough situation to be in. And that's kind of what I was talking about with the Nyx Assassin. He's just level 3. If he's going to be leeching experience, he may as well be in this tri-lane and maybe making EG feel a little uncomfortable pushing into it. And Bambo so far is just doing a great job taking a lead with the Treant Protector Demon with the DD. Spotted by the tower, so they know what's up. The Healing Ward helping to keep Artyk in lane a little bit up here. Net worth, already beginning to see numbers nearly doubling each other. Now EG rotates the Demon up. This could get very ugly very quickly. If he's able to spot himself a target, he's going to jump through, drops the Remnant. And the rest of Artyk realizing something is amiss. Pulling all the way back. Jo actually does get rooted there, but again, he just has infinite sustainability, and yeah, the fact that he gets that coming out of top lane certainly doesn't help this lone druid out at all. He is level 6, though, so at least he has managed to get a few levels under his belt. Still almost 2 full levels behind the lifestealer right now in a one-on-one. But you have to expect that. And it's one reason why drafting a lone druid right into a lifestealer is a little bit of a tricky proposition. Because if the enemy's able to predict your lanes, you will find yourself in this situation. The only other option is to go into the jungle, but that's even worse. And if nothing else, Artyk is stopping the bleeding. EG is moving heroes around, looking for kills, and Artyk's not giving them anything. They're making them earn it. But at 8 minutes in, this game very much in control of Evil Geniuses. Illuminate Eek will connect. He's going to be forced to Blade Fury. There's an ice path to bail him out. Now they're going to try to catch Bambo. Caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Impales there. And he will end up dropping. So Artyk gets on the board with their first kill of the game. Much, much needed. Demon is making his way up, though, looking for a little bit of revenge. And we just saw the ping on the healing ward. He's got a full mana pool as well as a regen rune. Let's see. Yep, he's just going to flat out go for it. There's the Juggernaut grabbed out. The follow-up, not that spectacular in the Blade Fury. Enough to get him away to safety. BDiz not in the best position there. Looks like a little bit of miscommunication. If BDiz was there to land and illuminate appropriately timed, that would have been a kill for sure. Instead, Artyk dodges the bullet and keeps this game within reason. You can see they're beginning to cut the creeps now. This is going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, for Artyk to cope with. Hang on. Smash caught in mid. Demon, living up to his namesake, kills off the gyro once again. That's not a good game. Or not a good start to what is going to be a game of struggles for that gyro. He's now 0-2. Bambo, amongst his brethren, wandering through the tree path, looking for Juggernaut, and even using living armor on the creep. That's cute. But, yeah, just nothing they can do to stop this without a lot of help. And now they're going to get a little bit. Here comes Masuko. And there's the mana burn. Impale will catch him. He has teammates on the way. Here come the familiars. Bambo down to half health. Here's Fear doing good damage. Blade Fury eating away at them. Smashes there with a good cooldown. Catches all of EG. Bambo's cleaned up. Fear going to be next on the list. Very desperately needed. And BDiz not out of the woods yet, figuratively or literally, as he's running for the wrong base. That's not your base, BDiz. Going the wrong way. And he's going to try to deny himself on the creeps. Let's see if he can manage it. Realizing it's like, hang on a second. Maybe I can get away. Nope. Nyx Assassin does get the kill. In the meantime, Smash and Demon once again going toe-to-toe. Going to go ahead and Vortex him with the familiars there. That's another easy kill. So make that 2 for 3. Gyro did get the 2 kills in top, so that's at least a step in the right direction. A chance for him to get back on the good path. But still, not looking that great in terms of net worth. In fact, he's worth less than the Druid, and the Druid, hell, he's worth less than any carry on the team. Jugger and Druid not having a great start or a great game, but still better than poor Smash. And now Tier 1 mid going to be the target. Jo just continues to farm his butt off, by the way. He already has a setup of treads, a set of treads up. I can speak clearly. Has a set of treads up. And Armlet going to be done right now. Just bought the recipe. Now, if I'm in Artyk's shoes here, it's one of those tough situations. You're behind, so taking fights is difficult. But this is going to happen if you don't take fights on your terms. Mihawk engaged upon. He will end up dropping. Now, though, Jugger's there. And he has Misko. Misko, little hesitation. Nyx is infested in the demon. They're going to jump. This is, yep. This is kind of what I was getting ready to point out. It's so hard when you're up against a team, especially like Evil Geniuses, who loves to push an advantage. It's so hard to go, we're behind, let's go fight. That is so hard to do because it feels very all-in. It feels very, very risky. But what's going to happen if they don't is EG is going to take fights on their own terms. They're not going to be the initiators. EG will. And that's not something Artyk can afford to do. They're going to get further and further behind. This is a snowball team from EG. Visage will snowball on. Demon on up. Here we go. Nice Omni Slash. Now the Blade Fury. Can they get BDiz? BDiz will end up dropping. Misko, nice impale on Bambo. Jo rages through, though. Bambo has his ulti, will hang on to it. Surprisingly, I was really, yeah, now he might use it. Nope, just gonna die. So they end up going 2 for 2. Now the counter initiation coming out of EG. Demon doesn't have enough mana to really make a run of it. Nice root on Jo, but he'll rage out as it wears off. And Living Armor gets him back into fighting shape. So Artyk getting some decent counter initiation there. EG overstaying their welcome. And Demon's mana pool becoming a problem. He does have 2,900 gold, though. So, and Orchid Malevolence, if that's indeed the choice, not going to be far in coming. However, the amount of regen this team has is just stupid. I mean, Beatus with mana regen, Leech Seed, and Living Armor, they're just going to be able to continue to push here, and that's something that doesn't get talked about nearly enough by myself included. Visage actually adds a considerable amount to early game push potential, not just in the damage of the familiars. I mean, it's not be-all, end-all damage. It's 66 damage. But at the same time, the fact that they're another factor that every team has to account for. If they're hidden over in the trees, and they come out and you don't kill them off immediately, and they're able to stun 1 or 2 of your heroes, and then you have an initiator like a Treant Protector or like a Storm Spirit who's ready to jump and take out a prime target. That could be all she wrote. All in all, though, Artyk keeping the game reasonable, I would say. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. 13 minutes in, coming up on 10,000 gold advantage to EG. I honestly thought that was going to be closer to 6. Oh well, EG just getting the best of them everywhere. I think I'm underestimating just how big a farm advantage they have, and it is massive. 84 to 45. So the best on one team versus the best of the other, and Jo nearly doubling up the Lone Druid. But we've seen Artyk can get kills against this lineup, but they're just going to have to start making sure that they take control of the game if they can. And it's so easy to say from the caster's chair. But they're not going to be doing themselves any favors by allowing an Evil Geniuses squad that's this far ahead to continue to farm up at their own pace. That's beautiful. I love this. The Peruvians say, you know what? We're hurting. We ain't hurting so bad we can't fight. They smoke up. They're going to try and make something happen. Desperately needed. Demon will be able to find himself a tier 1 tower kill. And Keeper's going to get him out of trouble just in time. That is so unfortunate. Another reason why Keeper is so highly valued. More than another reason. I mean, you know, seeing a big Illuminate land and do a grillion damage to an entire team in a team fight sure is nice. But that right there, his ulti, with the blinding light and his ability to teleport teammates around, is so strong. It just really is. And looks like we're going to have another fight now at the tier 1 mid. Artyk needs to have good initiation. Ice Path thrown out, caught Jo, no follow-up. Illuminate helps melt down the creeps. Bambo didn't use his ulti last time. Now we're going to see Smash caught out. There's a call down. They're going to catch out Smash. Bambo taking through the damage. Smash going to end up dropping to just Demon alone. There's the ulti, locking them in place. Ice Path buys some time, but in the meantime, the Nyx Assassin dies. Jakiro the next target. Jugger still up and fighting. Has his Omni Slash if he wants to spend it. Looks like he wants to go to the base. Mihawk cleaned up by Fear in the meantime. And no Omni Slash, no damage. No tier 2 tower. Evil Geniuses blowing this game wide open. Nearly 1,000 gold a minute advantage they've built every minute of play from the moment this all began. And where it really, I mean, 2 things stand out with how this game went wrong for Artyk. The Nyx Assassin was complete dead weight. He didn't free anything up in mid when he hung there. And I'm not blaming the player. I'm just saying strategically the way they decided to play this. So don't misunderstand. I'm not bashing the player or the team. It's identifying where things didn't work. The Nyx Assassin accomplished nothing. Leached experience at best. And even then was slow to 6. If he even is 6, I honestly don't even know if he is level 6. That's what I want to see. Yeah, he's level 7. Okay. But was slow in his levels, didn't help out any lane. The Druid against the Lone Druid was wonderfully predicted by EG. And with the Nyx Assassin not being in that top tri lane to help out, not saying it would have been a lot better, but there was no way possible for poor Jugger and the Jakiro to accomplish anything against that tri lane from EG. Couldn't even harass them because of how much regen they had. And EG looking to potentially close this game out quickly. Ewo going to be caught out, hexed, and blown up immediately. Bambo has his ult off cooldown again if he wants. Did pick up a mech. And the bear going to be vortex back. EG rushes the steps. Ice path catches no one, splits the wickets. And right now, Artyk just struggling for a way to even imagine taking a fight. There we go. Mitsuko going to use the carapace. Doesn't matter. Gets a Rage Nix, though. Picked off from downtown by the Visage. Call down has potential to do damage and will do some, but they're going to go ahead and call it. And no dishonor in that. And, you know, this is a point I want to make early, and I'm probably going to make often in the ADL. This is how teams improve. The fact that Artyk got run over here by an Evil Geniuses squad, which even the most cynical would say is one of the best on the entire planet, there's no shame to be had here for Artyk. They made some mistakes. EG predicted their lanes a little too well, but this is so important for the development of these teams. It is so important. Bambo ties to the tower. But yeah, this is so important for these teams to improve and to eventually find their way into playing at this level themselves. So even though they did kind of get rocked, 20,000 gold in an 18-minute game is kind of rocked. There's no shame to be had here. And, you know, I've been talking about how important I think it is for the scene as a whole. But, you know, I want to... There are two other parties that need to be... Well, one in particular. I can thank the pro teams, because there are going to be some times when these games are going to feel like a bit of a waste of time for the pro teams. Make no mistake. I have no doubt about that. But at the same time, they're giving these teams a chance to shine. And in a lot of these games, it's the pro teams that have the most to lose. You know, Artyk just got beaten by Evil Geniuses. I don't think anyone... I mean, Dota Lounge, I would guess, probably 98% in favor of EG. Something like that. The Cheese from Join Dota, or what have you. But... if they get upset, then they have to catch flack for it, and they're going to be taking that risk. So they do deserve a little bit of shout-out, even though the prize pool and the fact that they are going to be the favorites to win some money certainly mitigates that a bit. But I think it's so cool that these teams are willing to seize this opportunity to play against true top-tier competition. And no, they have to know they're going to get rocked sometimes. They're going to make some mistakes. They're going to be embarrassed from time to time. But they're so dedicated to competition. So dedicated. I'm going to go ahead and say this, by the way. And that's something some players... There we go. But anyway. But, yeah, I think it's so great that these teams, knowing that they're going to be the underdogs, and granted they're going to beat up on each other a lot, and they're going to learn a lot from playing each other. But yeah, see, now I'm all distracted. Typical EG tactics, distracting the caster. But the fact that they're willing to put it on the line and to say, you know what, the only way we're going to improve is to get beat on it a little bit. That's the only way that we can reliably know that we're going to get better as a team. And I think that deserves respect. So, even though Artyk comes up short here, 20-minute game, 19-8 the final kill score. I'm probably going to go through a miniature version of that speech at the end of almost every game like this, just because I have so much respect for all of these teams and for the organization that I'm proud to be broadcasting for here today. Once again, Evil Geniuses in our second match of the day rolls to a fairly quick victory, if not easy. 20 minutes all the time it took them, 19-8, the final kill score. Our third and final match of the day coming up next. I'm here on AC Chambers. Make sure you hit follow here on American Dota League. Want to have you back for all of the ADL action, not just this week, but in the future. Still got yeah, this is our inaugural day, so we got like, what, 2 months of this? It's going to be awesome. Cannot wait to continue to roll through all of this. Would love to have each and every one of you back, so please hit follow here on the brand new Twitch channel. Follow them on Twitter as well, and speaking of Twitter, you can follow me there too. I'm at AC, at AYE. SEE. I keep it pretty simple, guys. All right, our third and final match coming up next. Stick with us.